Good afternoon, I'm Denise Tan, and here are the latest stories at this hour. This just in, the Firearms and Explosives Office of the Philippine National Police has revoked the firearms license of Senator Bato de la Rosa. The former PNP chief is now the subject of a massive manhunt over an ICC arrest warrant and is believed to own more than 100 guns. De la Rosa is a co-perpetrator in the crimes against humanity charges versus former President Rodrigo Duterte in connection with a bloody drug war. We will have details of this story later, so do stay tuned to One News. Moving on, tensions erupted at the Senate over a proposal that would allow online voting, which ended in the minority bloc walking out of plenary. Here's the story.
Tensions flared on the Senate floor between some members of the majority and minority blocs. The heated exchange stemmed from a motion filed by Senator Rodante Marcoleta to allow senators to vote and attend all sessions online. This would include the impeachment trial, where the Senate convenes as an impeachment court, but the motion has yet to go through the Committee on Rules. That is why Senator Erwin Tulfo insisted the majority appeared to be rushing the process. Under the current rules, online attendance is allowed only during a national emergency.
Or is it because, Madam Chair, they're in a hurry because of news reports that probably two of our colleagues might land in jail this weekend? Is that the reason why? Is that the reason why they have to have this inserted, the Section 41C, para makaboto po kung sino man yung makukulong dahil sa announcement ng Ombudsman na may lalabas na po ang warrant ng ilan sa mga kasama natin.
The Ombudsman earlier said Senator Jingoy Estrada will be charged on Thursday in connection with the flood control scandal. Senator Joel Villanueva is also set to face charges, but Senate President Alan Peter Cayetano pushed back against Tulfo's statement. He denied that the Senate Rules review was being rushed.
You do not make that kind of statements here in the Senate because you assume good faith from everyone. That rule hindi minadali. May 11 pa ho yun. We are not even discussing the rule yet. And then, ganun na yung allegation nila. And no one from the minority stood up to say that out of order si Senator Erwin Tulfo.
But before Cayetano could finish speaking, Senator Erwin Tulfo walked out. The rest of the minority members also followed and left the session hall.
Pinubulo na tayo eh. Pinagpipilitan nila, naisip-isip na siguro nila dahil lumabas sa media na ilalabas na warrant of arrest para makaboto yung mga yun na makukulong kung sino man yun, para makaboto sila kung nakakulong man sila. Common sense, hindi naman tayo tanga, journalist tayo, di ba?
Yes.
Several minority senators backed Tulfo's statement.
We will not be part of this. It's a travesty of our rules, of the Senate rules. Hindi kami papayag sa mga
Niloloko tayo nung
violation of the rules.
That the majority's alleged rushing of the motion violates Senate rules.
Mali yung gagawin nilang pagboto eh. Mali yung batay sa mga rules. Mali yung proseso. Wala pa ng debate sa substance.
Bakit po sa tingin nyo gagawin gusto nilang mangyari ngayon nga?
Hindi nga tayo umabot sa pag-debate sa substantive kasi hindi nila sinusunod yung sariling rules.
Teleconference, ginagawa lang yan kung may pandemya. Walang pandemya ngayon.
Walang national emergency.
But Senator Robin Padilla, who is part of the majority bloc, said he wished the debate had continued.
Comment ko?
Yes, sir.
Sayang, ang ganda pa naman ng debate. Sana, sa susunod, tuloy-tuloy yung debate para yan naman talaga ang silbi ng democracy. Tuloy-tuloy ang debate.
Your comment, sir, dun sa...
Sayang, ganda na eh.
Before the minority walked out, Senators Risa Hontiveros and Rodante Marcoleta were also seen arguing while the session was suspended. After the walkouts, some minority senators posted a group photo on Facebook with the caption, "Solid Minority."
The Senate Minority Bloc released a statement following the Tuesday plenary walkout. 11 senators condemned what they described as an attempt to rush a major rule change despite questions raised by members of the minority. The group said the proposal, which involves remote participation in Senate proceedings, should undergo full public discussion instead of being, quote, rushed by the tyranny of the majority. They also questioned the timing and motive of the move and if it is meant to accommodate Senator Bato de la Rosa, now in hiding and evading an ICC warrant. The minority bloc further argued that there was no duly constituted committee on rules or elected majority leader at the time the motion was taken up. They stressed any proposed amendment to Senate rules should undergo proper process and full deliberation. Meantime, Senators Rodante Marcoleta and Risa Ontiveros also clashed on and off the Senate floor, still over the attempt to change rules on voting at the upper chamber. Take a listen.
Parang bakit takot na takot ka ba kayo na i-amend natin ito? Ayaw ba ninyong i-take advantage ng modern technology? Paano ba tayo? Panahon pa ba tayo ng medieval age? Andito na yung technology.
Excuse me, sila po yung gustong bumalik sa medieval age na ipepwersa lamang sa lakas ng bilang nila, no? Kesa makinig at hayaan ang pagdebate sa isang issue na tinatayuan naming lahat dahil napaka-importante. Yun ang medieval na parang might makes right lamang. Yung kung marami ka, ipipilit mo yung gusto mo.
Senator Marcoleta is now facing charges alongside fellow lawmakers in the upper chamber. Now, they feel there is a concerted effort to persecute members of the Senate majority bloc. Mobile journalist Arles de los Santos reports.
As early as this Thursday, May 28, plunder and malversation charges will be filed against Senator Jinggoy Estrada. Ombudsman Boying Remulla revealed in a press conference this Tuesday that the case against Estrada is just about done.
Ang pinakamalapit na, hinog na, at pipirmahan ko maya-maya yung information against Senator Jinggoy Estrada. Information to be filed with Sandigan Bayan in the soonest possible time. Hopefully Thursday, we will file it first thing in the morning.
Asked about the nature of the case, Remulla said this is in connection with offenses related to the flood control scandal. Remulla explained that the filing had been slightly delayed after they reviewed the Department of Justice's resolution and found portions that needed correction and refinement.
Kaya na medyo natagalan ng konti, nung binasa namin yung DOJ resolution, meron kami nakitang kailangan ng corrections. Kaya ayaw namin mag-file ng information na hindi pulido. Pinulido lang namin, kaya inabot pa ng mahigit sa linggo na pinag-aaralan at inaayos yung mga dapat ayusin para mas malinaw yung kasong ilalahad natin sa Sandigan Bayan.
Remulla also disclosed that Estrada has co-accused in the case, although some of them have already turned state witnesses. Aside from Estrada, Senator Joel Villanueva is also facing charges tied to the flood control scandal, though there's still work to be done on the acting majority leader's case.
Meron pa kaming tinatapos rin at talagang madaling panahon, mapafile na rin namin yung kay Senator Joel Villanueva. Yan ang isang hilog na rin, ngunit kinakailangan kasi puliduhin ang gusto yung pagkakalahad ng impormasyon at ng ebidensya na baka dalawang linggo pa. Painit yan eh.
The possible filing of the charges against Estrada and Villanueva came just days after the Ombudsman recommended plunder and indirect bribery charges against their fellow Majority Bloc Senator Rodante Marcoleta. That's for allegedly accepting an undisclosed 75 billion pesos gift back in January 2025. The money was allegedly received over a 4-day period from former lawmaker Mike Defensor and businessmen Joseph Espiritu and Aristotel Viray. Presidential Decree No. 46 prohibits public officials from receiving gifts. The amount also exceeds the 50 million threshold required for a plunder charge. In his privileged speech at the Senate on Monday, Marcoleta implied that majority senators are now being targeted, which the Ombudsman quickly tweeted.
If the intention of these cases is to silence me, let me say this at the very beginning. It has failed. I will not be silenced.
I do not want to get into the political mix of it kasi ito napakalinaw naman yung kaso niya. Napakalinaw. Yung lahat ng ebidensya dito galing din sa kanya. Sa sinasabi niya sa COMELEC, sa mga kanyang pag-amin. Hindi naman ito invento eh. Pero ito, papasok talaga sa batas. Papasok siya.
With
sa
regard
batas.
to the other senators.
Plunder din yan.
At the request of Remulla, the Sandigan Bayan has issued a precautionary whole departure order against Marcoleta and 3 others. Meantime, on the sidelines of the plenary session, Senator Estrada was asked about the looming case against him.
If this is the price that I have to pay for standing on my own principles of what I believe in, so be it. Basta ang alam ko, sabi ng LGU, wala akong insertion, kapatulad ng sinasabi nila. Yung binulgar ni Bryce Hernandez sa house na meron ako insertion. Wala silang record na ako ay may insertion ko ng halaga.
Estrada was also asked if he thinks members of the majority are being targeted.
Sa majority na kinakasuhan. Anong basa niyo po, sir?
Kayo nilang bahala manghula.
Politika ba sa tingin mo, sir?
Your guess is as good as mine.
Remulla also said that aside from senators, his office have also meted out sanctions against several government officials.
Marami kami pinapersu na kaso dito. Kaya lang, syempre, ang public interest na rin dito sa flood control at sa nangyayari sa bansa at nangyayari sa Senado at sa Kongreso.
Remulla then revealed that they are also preparing cases against former House Speaker and late Representative Martin Romualdez.
Meron na kaming dalawa pang kasong hinahanda tungkol dyan. Meron kaming isa pang money laundering case, mabigat. At of course, yung the grandest case of them all, itong pinakamabigat na kaso dyan, the conspiracy to defraud the treasury. Yun talaga yan, sa pamamagitan ng budget. First time ito gagawin sa kasaysayan ng Pilipinas na magkakaroon tayo ng ganitong klaseng kaso.
Congressman Romualdez has yet to react to the Ombudsman's statements. As for Senator Villanueva,
Hinog na daw po yung ipa-file po na kaso po sa inyo, sir. Prayer kami, sorry. Thank you.
kapatid Arles de los Santos, we are One News.
Eid al-Adha, also known as a Feast of Sacrifice, is the second and larger of the 2 major Islamic holidays celebrated worldwide. Mobile journalist Francis Rivera is in Quiapo to take us through this solemn event's commemoration. Okay, Francis, what can you tell us about the Manila version of the Eid?
Good afternoon, Denise. Today, our Muslim brothers and sisters are celebrating Eid al-Adha, or the Feast of Sacrifice, here at the Golden Mosque in Quiapo, Manila. And according to Golden Mosque administrator, umabot daw sa mahigit na 5,000 ang dumalo kaninang umaga, at yung dami ng mga kapatid nating Muslim ay umabot daw hanggang doon sa may Quezon Boulevard. Talaga namang dinagsa at halos mapuno raw o punong-puno raw itong nasa likuran ko at doon mismo sa loob ng mosque. No? At ito kasi nga pag-celebrate or itong ginugunita nilang Eid al-Adha ay isa sa mga tradisyon nila at parte ng kanilang celebration or isa sa mga mahalagang selebrasyon, no, ng mga kapatid nating Muslim, no, bilang isa sa mga paggunita sa pag-aalay ni Propeta or ni Prophet Abraham sa kanyang anak na si Ishmael, ano. At ito na nga raw kasi yung nakikita nilang pagsasakripisyo nila, or yung iba kasi sa ating mga kapatid na nakausap dito ay galing pa sa iba't ibang lugar, galing sa mga provinces. At talagang pumunta pa sila dito kaninang madaling araw daw para i-celebrate ang Eid al-Adha. At ito na nga raw yung nakikita nilang paraan to sacrifice or to offer sacrifice para nga sa selebrasyon ngayong araw. At matapos nga yung naging selebrasyon, pagdiriwang, kanilang pagdadasal at yun yung feast na salo-salo o pinagsaluhan nila kaninang umaga, agad naman daw silang nag-ayos at naglinis dito sa paligid ng mosque upang mapanatili yung kaayusan at kalinisan sa paligid nito. Denise?
Thank you for that report, mobile journalist Francis Rivera. Join us again at 2 p.m. for the very latest stories. I'm Denise Tan, and we leave you again with projected heat index levels. Keep safe.